Tasker to make a one-click GPS solution. Since Android 2.3, you don't have one-click functionality. Apps can't turn on GPS by themselves. There has to be some sort of user intervention. As an example, I have a toggle bar up here, and the second toggle is GPS. I want to turn GPS on. You would like to just be able to click that and it turns on, but instead it brings you into this menu, and you have to click Use GPS Satellites and then back out. If you do it a lot, or if you're a power user, I mean, yeah, it's a 3-click solution, but it really should only be 1 click, especially since in earlier versions of Android it was. Also, or the same problem is when you turn it off. You got to turn it off and click back, and so 3 buttons. Pain in the butt. The only solution I found is to use Tasker, which is $6.49 in the market. At least it was yesterday when I bought it. Tasker is a very, very powerful program. For today's purposes, it's going to be like a macro recorder. So purchase, download, and install Tasker, and then open it up. And this is the screen that you'll be presented with, although you're not going to have these up here. These are 3 macros that I've already written, and they're for this exact problem. One turns GPS on for navigation, one for maps, and one for the program GPS status. So what happens is if I want to open Google's navigation program, it'll see that GPS is turned off, it'll automatically turn it on, and go back into navigation, all with 1 click. So how to write it, we're going to pretend that, we're going to pretend that none of these are here. The first step is to click the green plus sign and leave this blank. This is to name the profile, to name the macro. Leave it blank, click the check mark. First thing is to click application, find navigation, or whatever you're going to use for this example. I'm going to use navigation and click the check mark. The next step is to create a new task. Ignore this turn 4G on. That's something else I wrote. Ignore that and click new task. And don't name it, leave it blank. And the first task is to create an if statement. And that if statement is going to be, if the GPS is turned off, we want to turn it on. If the GPS is on, don't do anything. So blue check mark. Go down here to task, not Tasker, which is on the right side, but task on the left side. And these are a bunch of condition statements. You want if, just plain if. And you're presented with this menu, and it has a percentage sign. We want to put GPS in all capitals next to it. So percentage sign GPS tilde off. And leave label blank. So it should read percentage sign GPS in all caps tilde off. Check mark. That's the first part of your if statement. The second part is to go into the locations menu, which is where the GPS menu is. Blue plus sign, settings dialog, find location settings, not locale settings, but location settings. Leave it blank, check mark. So now your if statement is if GPS is off, go into location settings. Now we need to use our invisible D-pad, our invisible keyboard, to browse out to the part of that screen that we want it to go to. So blue plus sign, input, and here you have all these different options for inputting input. Actually, we want the D-pad. Even if your phone doesn't have a hard keyboard, we're going to pretend that it does and use the D-pad, which is like up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow. So D-pad. The first thing we want to do is click up. Up's already selected, but we want to do it 6 times. And what that does is it takes us to the very top of the location setting menu if we're not already there. If you had just turned your phone on from a fresh reboot, you would be there. But if you were messing around in the location settings screen prior to that, for some reason, for something totally different, and you try to run this script, without this, it would mess it up. So just take my word for it and press up 6 times. Takes you to the very top of the screen. Check mark. And then we want to do it again. Input, D-pad. Now we want to go down, and we only want to go down once. So change that to down. Leave repeat alone. Check mark. So now it's if GPS is off, open location settings. Once you're there, press the up arrow 6 times and then press the down arrow once. And then we want to press enter. So input, D-pad, change up to press. Just think of that as pressing enter. So press. Repeat times, leave it alone as 1. Check mark. So now your script reads, if GPS is off, open location settings, press up 6 times, press down once, press enter once, and now we're going to automatically go back into navigation. So blue plus, app, load app, and navigation. And leave all that blank. Green check mark. This is your completed condition. If GPS is off, location settings, D-pad up 6 times, D-pad down once, D-pad enter once, load navigation. That is your completed script. Check mark. And I already have this written. I wrote it obviously before this tutorial. What I'm going to do, I'm going to delete that. This is the one that I made yesterday. I'm just going to delete it. And I'm going to rename the one that we just made is simply called navigation. I'm going to rename it. Press and hold. Name GPS on for navigation. Check mark. Okay, so now I've got these three macros. The one macro is GPS on for navigation. The other macro I wrote yesterday, GPS on for maps. And then another one I wrote is GPS on for the program that's called GPS status. It's kind of redundant, but it's GPS on for GPS status. But the only one we care about right now is GPS on for navigation. And that's what it looks like when it's done. Check mark and go back to your home screen. Now let's see what happens. My GPS is turned off. I want to open navigation, and I want it to turn GPS on automatically. Let's see if it works. Now this is going to happen real fast. You might have to watch the video a couple times, but it's going to work. This is my navigation icon down here. I've turned it off. Let's try it one more time. And it's back on. And that's all it is. If you have any questions, leave me an email or send me a message. I'm new to Tasker. I just got it yesterday, and that's just what I learned in an hour's time of playing around. I'm sure there's an easier way. I'm sure there's a simpler way, but I've found that that's what works. Thanks. Bye.